McMillan from OWETEC Services. So this is part 2 to the video where we were talking about joint preparation and joint fit up. So as you know, we already cut our tubing on the Axer saw, and we're talking about, is it okay to have a burr? Is it not okay to have a burr? And what's the most acceptable type of fit up that we're looking for? So if you look here, we have a nice square groove butt joint. The tubes are finished and faced and cut real nicely. And we're gonna go ahead and make a weld. So I'm gonna come over here to the Axe, or the Sax 200, and we're using the 52 head, which is a great head. So what I'm gonna do is, and I've already checked my purge pressure ahead of time, so I already have it set where I want it. Because as we know, purge pressure is very important when doing orbital welding. So I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna line my tube. I'm gonna lock it in. Grab my other tube, put on my other purge connector. Make sure my alignment looks good. Lock that. So we're gonna go ahead and make a weld. So right now I already have the machine set up and we're doing 1/2 inch 049. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the start button. I do have a little bit of a long purge time. It's about 30 seconds right now. Again, you do not need to have that much purge time. Really, I recommend 20 seconds. I call it 20 seconds of mercy. Really, I have it like that so that if there's anything wrong or anything I don't like, I have that 20 seconds to hit the stop button, readjust, and reassess everything that's going on. So we'll go ahead and wait for this weld to take place, and we'll show you what a good one looks like. Then, after this, we'll show you what will happen when you have all this interference or a burr, or the cut is just not right, and what kind of happens. All right, so the weld stopped, and if you notice, I always stand back during the welding operation. The last thing you want to do is block this purge restrictor. You don't want to change the pressure inside of your tubing. It can create convexity or concavity that's unwanted, or it can even create a blowout or a pinhole, which, again, we're not building sprinkler systems, we're building silt systems, so want to watch out for that. So let's take a look at our weld here. I'd say that's pretty good. Not too bad. Nice small profile. Discoloration's at a very minimal. Overall, good weld, no problems. So next, we're going to talk about, and again, before I perform this weld, I know this is a very grotesque version of what can happen out in the field. But if you notice here, we have one tube that's faced correctly, nice finish, ready to weld. But if you look here, this one, rough cut, hasn't been faced, and it isn't straight. So we're gonna see what happens when we weld something like this. So again, I'm gonna put in on my purge connectors. Make sure everything's nice and lined up. Lock it in. And these thumb screws on this Axer 52 head are adjustable, so if you need a little more force or bite, you can just bring these thumb screws in. A little too much. There we go. Now we're going to put our next one on. I'm having a little trouble trying to get this lined up because, again, really grotesque cut here, but I guess that's the whole purpose, right? Go ahead and lock that in place. And we'll start our weld. Now again, I always like to move back away from the area where the welding is taking place, because I don't want to block that purge restrictor, because again, you'll change your internal purge pressure, which is not good. As I've already stated, I've already checked my internal purge pressure with my magnehelic gauge. I have it set about 1.5 inches to water for half-inch 049, which is relatively close. And we're just looking for that smooth, flush internal surface finish on the inside of the weld. I do apologize about the messy workstation. We have a lot of different projects going on right now. And I know it's not the most ideal for if you were doing like a clean burn. Another thing to be mindful of when doing welds like this, or what's really the general rule of thumb, is you don't want to have more than 3/1000 gap in one area, or interference, or 5/1000 gap all the way around. Now, I know most people are not going to measure that. It's a very small measurement. But really what you want is as close to a flush butt-to-butt or square groove butt joint fit up as possible. Another thing is if you have a burr, a little bit of a burr on the outside, I like to call this filler metal. Now again, I want to state that a burr is never acceptable, but if you're going to have one, a small burr on the outside